What's up? Welcome to Stat Guy Show, episode number 7. As you can see, I have my guest here tonight, Kye Kelley. What's up, man?
What's up?
How's it going? What you guys up to right now?
Man, trying to get our whole life organized to be gone for 4 weeks.
Hell yeah. You're leaving this week, huh? For Australia?
Yeah, we leave Thursday. Yeah, see, Lizzie's got all these farm animals that she thinks she has to have, so horses and goats and everything else to these boarding places. So
Hell yeah. That's funny. So are y'all excited to get going? Anxious to get over there?
At first I wasn't, but the more I think about it, I mean, it's a lifetime experience, you know? I mean, how would I ever go to Australia if Street Outlaws would have never happened? So, yeah, I mean, I think it'd be cool. Plus, you know, interacting with them people on Facebook, they seem all, you know, like they're pretty cool. They like to talk shit. And, you know, I'm that. So I'm bringing a car that's brand new.
Have you seen all the call-out videos?
Oh, yeah, I've seen them. But, I mean, I'm not really sure. Like, they keep saying we won't reply, but, I mean, I'm not sure which one of them's coming. You know, I don't want to. If I get to going back and forth with somebody, I'm going to end up locking in money with them and all that. And then if they're not even going to be there, kind of pointless. So I just can kind of see what their list is so we can figure out who we're going to race and who we're not, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And you're going to have your street shocker, we'll call it, over there?
Yeah. So that car is actually the car that we had pulled the bars out of the total shocker and, you know, used whatever we could to rebuild. So I guess you would say that would be the OG shocker now. It's just a lot more updated and something I always wanted to do to the older car. Just I didn't want it to happen like it happened, but
yeah,
that's what it is. I'm just glad that Gates didn't get hurt, and you know I ended up rebuilding the car.
Yeah, that was the white third gen you had on Endgame, right?
No, I still got it. I'm actually.
Oh, that's a different one. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a stock suspension car. It's got all the nice mirrorlet suspension parts underneath it, but yeah, I dumped a lot of money into that car, and then they decided that wasn't the type of car we needed for Endgame, so I ran it a little bit on the street, and then I kind of parked it. It's just heavy. It's heavy for a nitrous car.
Yeah.
Honestly, turbos on it, and it'll be a great car. It works good. It's just probably about 3,000 pounds, you know.
Right. What kind of combination are you running on your car you're bringing to Australia?
It's actually got a small block in it. Like, you know, we went to California street racing, and then that's when they hit us with this Australia deal. So pretty much what I had there is what I needed to use, and it's the OG shocker. It's got a small block Ford motor in it, Bischoff motor. It ran pretty good. I mean, it was running side by side with those Hemis out there on the street, so it's definitely a tough little small block. It was mile per hour, and with all the turbo cars out there, I mean, I don't have no complaints. You know, I've always been a big block Chevrolet kind of guy, but that little Ford power, it's impressive.
Yeah, it's funny. You putting a Ford motor in the third gen. That's funny.
Almost like
yeah. So is there anything, now your car's been over there in the container for a little while, is there anything that you didn't put in the container that you wish you would have?
Yeah, pretty much everything. When I go to street racing, I try to keep the bare minimum with me because I don't know. To be honest, you're always taking stuff out the big trailer, putting it in the small trailer, and you get tired of doing it all the time. So I just take exactly what I need to street race, and that's it. So, yeah, if I have any issues over there, I'm going to be borrowing parts from everybody. But everything goes well. I have my one little extension cord run out the trailer, hooked up to the battery charger, and keep the nitrous bottles full. So that's really about the amount of tools I'm bringing with me.
Yeah, and then you guys are the car's going to be traveling. It's going to stay in that container, right, from each race, every race to race?
Yeah, from what I understand, they're going to pick them up at each racetrack and drop them off at the next. So we're going to fly from racetrack to racetrack. So that's going to be pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we kind of actually feel like a celebrity. You know, you see all the people on the internet saying it must be nice and this and that, man. Them people don't realize that I sleep like 2 days a week, drive 40 hours at a time without sleeping, trying to get to the next race. I mean, it's changing flats and I mean, it's brutal, man.
Yeah,
Is it better than working in an oil refinery? Absolutely. But is it
right.
less work? Not a shot. It's a lot. It's
Shit.
a dream
Have
come
you?
true.
Yeah. Are you gonna do some sightseeing? I'm sure when you're over there.
Yeah, they did ask us if we wanted to stay. Uh, a couple days after the last race and all that, and we told them hell no. So I guess all the sightseeing we'll get to do would be between racetracks because with No Prep Kings coming up and me being number 2 for 3 years in a row, like I'm sick of that. Like I wanna put in the work. Like I always put in the work. Like I don't know anybody out there that probably works harder than us, but we always come up short. So we wanted to start a little early this year, start testing, start getting a handle on our program a little earlier, and
Mhm.
just really get the trailer set up more organized to where we got all the stuff we need to run our car hard every weekend. Because there were several weeks in this last year that, we really wouldn't run our car hard because we couldn't get pistons or we couldn't get rods because of COVID. So we were trying to be conservative and beat Ron Martin at the same time, and that don't work. You can't do that. Uh,
Right.
I guess that's how you'd see that we were very consistent, just not as fast as him. But this year we plan to have enough stuff in the trailer the first race to be able to race the whole season. So that's our goal.
Yeah, and well, I was gonna talk about that later. We will. So the competition. So you guys are gonna have most of you guys besides like Lutz and Robin Roberts and Farm Truck. I believe those are the only 3 guys that are having their big tire cars. But the rest of you guys got your small tire cars. Are you worried about the competition with that because you don't have your No Prep Kings cars there?
A little, because if we had our No Prep Kings car there, we could be cocky.
Yeah.
Now, what I understand, they're going to be like setting up races to where it's a possibility that I might be running the big tire car with Willie Bars, but I got to negotiate the race.
Yeah.
You get into situations that people beat up on you, say you suck, say you slow, and all that. They don't realize that you just ran a No Prep Kings car against a car that's on small tires. So I kind of learned that with that Farm Truck and Asian show they did, throughout the No Prep Kings deal. Like, I mean, we were giving them guys 10 and 12 car lengths and letting them leave, and we were passing by them like they were tied to a stump. So
Yeah, you were.
what we drive normally and what we're driving now. So
Yeah. How
but
dialed in is the? Sorry, go ahead. How is that Lizzie in the background?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, a round pen, maybe.
yeah. She just had some guy come put up a round pen for her horses.
Oh,
I think she's trying to go with the PBR or something like that.
yeah, hell yeah. Shit. So how confident are you with? Is your small tire crowd dialed in? I mean, so I'm guessing you had it at Mega Cash Days, and you had it for Fast in America too.
Yeah, car runs really good. The surface we were on out there was terrible. I mean, you do a burnout and the asphalt comes up when you do a burnout. So I didn't really get some great data on the car, but as far as the motor running, living, tune ups, so what I know it will take and what it won't, and I think I got a handle on it. Except for when you get to Australia, they take away your leaded gas. So we're gonna go
Oh,
from leaded race gas to unleaded, kind of like pump gas that we're gonna be trying to get a tune for. So
huh.
yeah.
That's different.
Yeah. I mean, right now, pretty much the way we set up is we don't know where we're going to get nitrous. They made us drain all of our fluids out of everything. So I need nitrous, gear oil, engine oil, transmission fluid, whatever this gas is that they expect us to use. So it'd be a little tricky at first. I think that's why we're going over there a little early to try to get all our ducks in a row. But
Hmm.
I feel like you give us a week, we'll be able to run with them. I mean, it's what we do for a living. So, and my team's not going to quit until we got a handle on it. So whether or
Right.
not we sleep or not, the car will be figured out, and we'll have something to be confident with.
Have you scouted out the locations you're going to? Because some of them are actually like pretty far away and kind of like different temperature, different atmosphere, stuff like that. Seems like.
Yeah, I done a little looking into it, and the main thing I was worried about was I heard it was going to be a 40-hour bus ride between tracks, but come to find out they're going to fly. So after that, I figured out else because I was going to buy my own plane ticket or something. I was not riding a bus for 40 hours.
Damn. Shit. Yeah, you don't think about it, right? Because it's Australia, but man, yeah, it's a big country.
Yeah,
It's
great.
it's
I mean,
huge.
just like driving from one side to the other of ours, I guess.
Yeah, definitely,
Yep.
definitely. So to stay on Shocker, is this now if there's any future big tire races on the streets, is Shocker where you're gonna race? You can put big tires on Shocker?
See, that right there is where I'm kind of caught between a rock and a hard place because I love the small block idea, but I'm thinking about putting my big block in shocker and figuring it out on small tires. So the little 738 motor, nitrous motor that I've always ran on the street. I'm thinking about going ahead and making a move to get it in the car, get it figured out on small tires, so it can be versatile and do both. But right now, it just wouldn't make sense to put a small block with big tires beside a Hemi or a screw blown. So
Right.
that's what I decide. I don't want to be swapping them back and forth all the time just to go to small tires either. So 'cause that's a lot of work. But I hadn't figured it out. But I think I'm going to put a big block in it and run it on bigs and smalls. But from what I understand, I don't think they're really looking towards big tires on the street anymore. And I think it's because of that last South Texas race we did, America's List. I mean, we were running over 170 miles an hour on asphalt. So it kind of scared
Yeah.
the production. And
Right.
I mean, we were fast. So they wanted to pull it back a little bit and make it more realistic. And to be honest, it's a good thing because before you know it, me and Ryan would be going 200. You know how we are. If he beats me, so
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I asked that because when the 405 guys did their little live feed like a couple weeks ago, one of them had brought up something about that it was like a possibility that they might go back to big tires or something on the street. But I just know that like a lot of the stuff you guys have been doing with small tires, and like you said, man, you guys are going too fast. I just don't see you guys going back to big tires for the street unless it's like an airport, you know what I mean? Something like that where there's not a shoulder, there's not things you can hit, you know?
yeah. I mean, going back in my career, I've done some pretty dumb stuff, man. Like I've, I've grudge raced in the middle of the night, holding up traffic at the pad, and that's light poles, curve, culverts on both sides of it. But you don't really think about all that. You just think about if you can leave in front of who you're driving, they're not going to hit you,
Right.
and you're not because you can drive. That's the things that I tell myself to be able to go down them sketchy services late at night and all that. So it's not a good case scenario, and it's not smart, but that's how I made it all these years, talking myself into doing what we're doing. So I would prefer the airport deal they got, just for the filming. If we're going out illegal racing or something, yeah, we'll race on your road or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's just more of a sanctioned place where you can chill out, relax.
Yeah.
And, that Chuck Waller deal we just did, the surface was not my favorite, but the setup and all that stuff, it was pretty cool. It was easy to race.
Yeah. Yeah, that seemed interesting. All right, let's talk about this past season of No Prep Kings. So you finished second for the third year in a row. Okay, running around 2 years in a row. Is it? I mean, I got to think it's got to be on your mind all the time. I mean, you're right there, especially this year. This year, you were the closest, in my opinion, as far as competition. Like you were the closest to beating Ryan that you've been in the last 3 years. So talk about this past season and how you did.
Yeah, yeah, I'm definitely tired of finishing number 2, but it's better than number 3 than number 4,
It is
5, 10, 20.
definitely.
It does suck because the thing about No Prep Kings is number 2 don't pay $1. You put in all this work and you come in number 2 and you make the same thing as number 32. So,
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like I wouldn't be out there racing unless I didn't want to be the best. And it's just something. Damn, the dog's got a chew toy. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Sorry.
All right, got him. But anyway, I wouldn't be out there racing if I didn't want to be the best. So just knowing that there's one person out there that's better than me, it irks my nerves. Ryan's a great guy. And, I think he's a perfect example of our champion. You know, he busts ass, he works hard. The reason why he wins all the time because he tests all the time. You know, you can't take nothing away from him. People say he's got a lot of money and this and that. Well, he does, but you can't have all that money and not test and not get your car figured out and win. I mean, money's not going to make you win. It's the effort that him and his crew put in to make him win. Same effort we put out. But I really think my biggest problem was the nitrous combination. You know, I was so stuck on it, and the way the rules were, a nitrous car with an average size driver like me, or fat, or whatever you want to call it, can't get down to weight. You know, I raced at 160 pounds overweight the entire season. So, you know, picture my car being at weight, like I'd have been tough to deal with, you know, because I had some side by side inches races beside them top guys. So I just got to finally, you know, after Pat did what he did in Alabama, it kind of gave me an opportunity to, you know, just to go my separate ways, and that's what I did. You know, a lot of people say I'm Kye Kelley and a titty baby and all that. If they really know me, they know that I am one of the hardest working people they'll get. I'm not you're not gonna make me quit. I'm not gonna cry about nothing. If you beat me, I'm gonna shake your hand and I'm gonna try to beat you next time. But just because my name rhymes with Kye, I've got that little nickname. That's probably one of the things that pisses me off more than anything. I'm just glad people call me that in person because I don't know if I can control my temper. But just because I know all the work I put in and I know I don't cry, so it is what it is. Everybody say I cried about the deal in Alabama. I didn't cry. I grew up in the South, and in the South, if you shake somebody's hand and tell them you're going to do something, you're going to do it. Yep. And that is quite the opposite of what happened that night. So, you know, I would have rather raced him straight up no matter what. But, you know, Pat had walked up to me. He walked up to my mom that night, told everybody that he's just going to make a straight pass. He's not trying to set the woods on fire. And he ended up running a personal best against me. So, you know, it is what it is. And I put all that behind me. But long story short, I've changed combinations, and he won't control my fate anymore. So,
nice.
I'll leave that.
That's good. That's good. So talk when you switch cars, have about 3/4 of the way through the season, you switched to your new shocker, and then you switched from your new shocker back to the Camaro, the new gen Camaro. What was the new shocker not running the numbers you wanted it to run, or what was going on there?
When I got the car, it was actually heavier than I'd been running, and it was supposed to be lighter. That was the whole reason why I was building a smaller, narrower car to try to get down the nitrous weight. And it was actually about 60 pounds heavier than the car I'd been running all season. So not really sure what happened there, but it wasn't the agreement that I had made when I started to build the car, I guess you'd say. So, and then just, you know, little things happened, like the 4-link brackets in it actually broke in half and cracked out of the car. So we fought that for a little while, and it just wasn't the car I had. You know, I mean, the car came from the same place, but it just wasn't the car I had. So I'd planned to finish the whole season with it, but Gates ended up pretty much making me take Showstopper back to finish the last 2 races. And he said if I would let him drive Shocker again, we could trade. So I already tore up Shocker. I mean, it is what it is at this point. So we traded. Good job. He didn't put it in the wall. He didn't wreck it. So and Showstopper was fast, man. In the last 2 races, we actually tried some things that we wanted to try all year, and it took it. That car is just an animal. Like, I really feel like you can look forward to seeing David Gates do good this year, because that car has been a great car since the day we dropped it out of the trailer the first race.
Hell yeah. Yeah, David made it a point on the show to say that he's ran the personal best in your new shocker.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. I think whenever he got it, the fastest I'd been was a 388 in it, and he ended up going 386, like third pass. So
nice.
Still not fast though, you know. And
right.
And that's draggy VPS times. That's not racetrack time. So who knows if that's accurate or not? But I just know that it was way slower than the car I was driving.
Right. Yeah, for sure. What was your? I mean, I know your opinion probably, but what was your thoughts about the grade A? Because it was a brand new event this year for No Prep, this past year for No Prep Kings. Did you enjoy it better than Team Attack? What were the positives of it, the negatives of it? I know the negative is if it wasn't, if it wasn't for the grade 8, you would have won a championship. But there was the grade 8. You had opportunities just like everybody else. So what were your thoughts about the grade 8?
I think grade 8 is a good thing. I just think I need to do better. I really don't have the funds to go out all week testing and all that. So I've always used Friday night as my test night to get ready for Saturday. So, and it showed, like I said, Ryan puts in a lot of work. He'll test all week. He shows up to the grade 8 ready to run, ready to win. I show up to the grade 8 wanting to try this new thing I thought about throughout the week, and it definitely, my performance reflected that. What I could do to fix that is I can start testing through the week and be ready like he was. So, that's how he beat me in the points championship. And, it was just because he was better than me. I was at every grade 8. I just didn't do as good as him. And, but yeah, to answer your question, I think grade 8's cool. You get a chance to win more money on Friday night and then race for a lot of money on Saturday. So, who don't want to race for money? It's a lot better than just going out there making test passes for free.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. I know as a fan, it's definitely cool. Team Attack was cool. It had its own things. You got to learn about some other drivers that you wouldn't know because they weren't in the invitational. But I want to see the best guys racing on Friday and Saturday. So the grade A, I thought was a good idea.
Good. Like I was really good at Team Attack. I think I only lost one, and it was in Florida whenever Lizzie never won one, and I let her win it. Like I said, I'm gonna try 36-inch tires. If it goes, you're gonna be in trouble. If it don't, you're gonna win. So obviously, it knocked the tires off on the starting line. So she won, and I shook my tail out of the car.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I was. If I could do as good at grade 8 as I did at Team Attack, I'd be in there.
Hell yeah. All right, let's talk about this upcoming season at No Prep Kings. Not that long ago, I guess a while ago, with the whole situation with you and Pat and stuff, you had made a post on your Facebook about something about, not that there was no Team NOLA anymore, but that you were going to just mainly concentrate on your own thing. You weren't going to rely on teammates to help you win races, stuff like that. What is like the overall picture of Team NOLA going into this year? Are you guys still cool and everything?
Oh yeah, Team NOLA will always be a team. We're always gonna fight. We're always gonna argue, but that's what all families do, or at least my family. Like I grew up like that. One day you hate each other, next day you take a bullet for them. So that's kind of the way our team's structured and set up. And but to answer your question, I want to make it clear with them this year that if they're cheating, I'm gonna protest them. If they line up beside me at the tree, I'm trying to beat them. I'm there to win. I want to win a championship. And if they sling a rod out their motor and they need to change it between rounds, come get me. I'll be the first one to help you. But as it's a TV show before it's a drag race, and they push in your heads, team. But at the end of the day, in No Prep Kings, only one person wins. There's only one trophy. So then they say it takes a whole team to beat Ryan Martin. Well, I agree, but. Man, can you stop talking in my interview?
I'm sorry.
Unbelievable. As far as the team deal, to try to make better TV, say Bobby's number 32. If he races his way in, if you want the team to win the championship, which we had all agreed with that, like if I would have won a championship, I was going to divvy the money up between the team. Because at that point, we were all working for it. And there's not only, there's still one trophy, but the $100,000 would have went, to everybody that helped get there. But, and then it just got to a point to where they was like, I got this sponsor. I got that sponsor. I can't help get to the championship. And it wasn't my fault that I was the guy there, They could have been the guy there, and I would have helped them like we were talking about helping each other. But at the end of the day, that just don't work. People's got, not responsibilities, but things they have to do for the sponsors that they have. They can't show up and go first round on purpose. And that's where it's a big problem, Like I think Scott beat me at a grade 8 right there in the end. I was fine with it, you know. But that's what led me to say next year we're gonna be racing for me. You know, we can be team, help each other. You know, we'll do whatever we got to do. But when we get put in the beams, I don't care if you're number 1 or number 30. I'm gonna try to run over you like the next guy. You know,
Yep.
and it's always I don't know. It was awkward. I mean, the deal with me and Lizzie, it was very awkward. I mean, that money would have came home to our house either way, you know. But
Yep.
her daddy don't see it that way, and it is what it is. I just don't want to be put in that situation no more. Not only with Lizzie, I don't want to be in it with Scott. Like, we're all friends, and I just want them to have an understanding that I'm there to win, and you know I'm gonna do what I gotta do to win. Catch you
Yep.
cheating, protest you. I'm gonna try to beat you every time. You're gonna get everything I got every time I line up beside you. And as long as they know that, there's an understanding, we should be good, right?
Yeah. Yep. So the big question is now, what combination are you going to be running this year?
I've always said the coolest combination in drag racing is nitrous. You know, I feel like it takes a gangster to drive a nitrous car. I mean, it's just how I feel. But the other combination that I keep seeing, it seems really cool too, is the screw blowers. So that's what I decided to do. I'm gonna go. I got a PSI screw blower. You know, one of the biggest names in racing right now is Noonan Race Engines. So I called them. The owner of that place, Renee, she was really cool. You know, acted like she wanted to be a part of the program. Acted like that. You know, like I could make her proud. In other words, what I'm trying to say. You know, because my relationship with Pat, he could have cared less if I ran his motor or whatever. You know, Pat's about money and business. So, you know, he'd give me a little discount every now and then, but everybody says he gave me motors and all that. If I didn't pay for that motor in full, it wasn't leaving his shop. And that's, you know, he's just a businessman. I mean, I don't blame him for it. You know, that's just the way he handles his business. But I just got a good feeling from Renee and them and Noonan, and they acted like they wanted to be a part of the team. They acted like they would like for me to represent their name. So I went with them. So I have a Noonan Hemi with a screw blower. And as always, the only transmission they make is a Martin Mickey. So I'll definitely have that in there. And yeah, so the combination's changing, and it's going to be loud and obnoxious, and I got to get used to it. So.
And you're all in for that now, right? Because what if the rules come out? I mean, what if the rules come out and they put some weight on the screw blowers or they do something?
See, the way my checkbook's set up, man, I already bought it.
That's it, huh?
You know, some people out there, they got the money to go change combinations week to week. I don't. So I'm gonna use this combination. I'm gonna invest all my time into it, and I think we'll have our best case scenario of a screw blower. I mean, I got Adam. He's probably one of the best crew chiefs out there, in my opinion. We hired another guy this year, Jeff Pierce. He tunes Preston Tanner's car in the NHRA. Goes head to head with all the big name guys and blowers like Todd Teterow and all of them, and he actually beats them. So Melanie Salami, she does really good in the radio versus the world. He's a part of that team, along with her husband John. So I think I got the right people on my side. I think I'm gonna change combinations. I got the perfect case scenario to do it and go out there and do well.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be exciting, man. Seeing you, it's gonna be exciting, but it's gonna be a little weird, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Well,
because I've seen you in the third gen Camaro forever with a nitrous motor. Like that's what Kye Kelley is.
Yeah, my biggest fear is always been catching on fire. So now I'm closer to that fear than ever. So that's one of the main things about. So yeah, I mean, it's over with now. I can say it, but it's pretty dumb the things I've done. But I mean, sometimes when I drew Ron Martin, I take the fire bottles out of the car. I wanted to be as light as I could be, you know. Hey
man, whatever you gotta do.
If tech guys would have ever caught me with that, I'd probably been banned from the show. But you know.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's not the smartest thing, or it's not smart at all. But I mean, that's how bad I wanted to beat Ron. You know, if people's watching now thinking I gave it a half-hearted attempt, nah. To me, I mean, winning was worth just as much. I mean, winning was worth more than dying at some point. Like, I wanted to beat him so bad. Like, I'm very competitive, and like I said, no matter what I do, I want to be the best person there. Like if I'm in a room of 100 people and we're all dancing, I want to be the best dancer. Like that's just how I've always been. And if I'm the second best dancer, I don't even want to be there. So that describes No Prep Kings, in a nutshell right now. But I've come to terms with being number 2 is better than being number 3. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm still shooting for number 1.
It's a great way to look at it.
Yeah,
Great way to look at it.
I beat up on myself a lot. But I mean, there's only so much you can do, man. Going up against a beast. Can't take nothing.
You could tell you did everything you possibly could. I mean, you switched motors in the second round of a race just to be Ryan. Just to be Ryan. It's like, man, that's going to the extreme, man. Like you really want to beat him bad.
There was not a lot of times that we didn't give him the best effort. I mean, we done everything we could do. A lot of people don't realize that I took a fresh motor out of my car to put my wore out 12.6 motor in, which runs better, just for one more pass. I already had 5 runs on the rods, but I wanted to test it one more time. So if I would have beat him that second round, what y'all would have seen is us putting our other motor back in for third round. Because, I mean, that's just how bad we wanted it, man. I mean, my team, my crew of guys, like, they wanted it bad as me, If I was working for somebody and they told me to put a motor in for one round, I would have told them they were crazy. But they were all about it. So, yeah, I mean, people don't really see the behind the scenes of it, but that is how bad we want to beat that guy.
Hell yeah. So you're going to be going with the new combo. Are you worried at all about this Australia trip getting in the way of your testing time for No Prep Kings this year?
Yeah, I'm glad that they ended up pushing the season to June because I was real worried about it. But I think with them pushing the season out to June, and I got guys around the house that's going to logistically get all my stuff where it needs to be to get wired. Because right now the car is at Wizard Race Cars getting some updates, and as soon as it leaves there, I got to get it over to Craig Pashar at Triangle Speed. He's going to wire it up for us because we got Adam a little busy right now. But we keep him busy. I don't see how that guy does everything, but somehow, some way, he makes time for everybody.
Nice.
I'm actually doing some updates to Claude, my Regal, for the street style stuff. So I got a new engine for it from LME, and some big upgrade from what I had because I pretty much just had to call Summit Racing, order some parts, and put a motor together, type of motor. But the little thing was strong. I mean, it run well, but there's rooms for improvement everywhere, and definitely in the engine combination in that car. So I got a little LSX deal I'm gonna put in it, and I mean everybody sees them LME motors running really good. So my Regal will be up there at Adams. He's got to wire it, so that's why I'm gonna get Craig to wire my other car.
Cool. Talk about the competition coming up for this year, man, because last year was by far the fastest you guys run, the closest competition, the most people win an event in one season. Like it's not just Ryan and Kye and Lizzie up at top anymore, man. It's there's like 7, 8 people that could legitimately win. So talk about the competition going into next year.
I just know some people's got some new cars coming out. I don't know if they released it or not, so I'm not really gonna name any names, but I know some guys that was already fast that didn't have the greatest chassis that's coming out with a purpose-built chassis this year. So I think this competition is going to be a lot stiffer. I hear rumors that they might put everybody on a smaller tire, which I'm cool with that. That goes down to the driver and the tuner, and I think I got that department covered on both ends. So, yeah.
Why would they be putting you guys on a smaller tire? What would that accomplish?
Just to try to slow everybody down a little bit, I think. I don't know. I mean, going as fast as we're going, it's real hard on parts. And you've seen that schedule come out. It's like, what, 4 races back to back?
5 races in a row. 5 in a row, dude.
So, rather than us carrying around 8 motors with us, they're trying to make it to where it's a little easier on parts. So, which I would rather carry around 8 motors. I want to go as fast as I can go, Somehow, someone got how to buy 8 motors. But I don't know. I see a bunch of new cars getting posted on Facebook too. Like I seen Larry Jeffers release a black Camaro. I'm not sure if maybe that belongs to Greg Chandler. Maybe. See Brandon James got a new car. Brandon James is tough with his older car. So if that new car is better than it, he's going to be tough to beat. Disco Dean come out with that Cadillac last year, and I really don't think Disco has put his combination to the test yet. I think Disco is one of them kind of people that, just wants to get through the race and do the best he can. But see, me, I'm rebuilding motors and love truck stop parking lot, because I ran it too hard at the last race. But I just think there's going to be a lot of good people there. To answer your question, I think it's going to probably be the fastest year ever, even though they might be changing tires. I don't know for sure, though.
Yeah, I bet the tire, even if they change tires, you still will be going just as fast.
Yeah, I think everybody's going to figure it out,
Yeah.
I mean, we got our nose to the ground now. Like, it took a couple years to get us to want to do this because we all like the street racing, but now it's a big challenge, We're learning something new in the tracks. And when I first started track racing, I kept red lighting, and it was pissing me off because I was like, I know I see the green light. And come to find out, my reaction time was just pretty fast, and I was deep staging. Well, hell, I didn't know. I mean, I ain't never put my tires in no beams and no tree. So,
Yep.
I mean, that's I mean, I have, but it was just at the local racetrack where it didn't matter if I red lighted. But come to find out, Lizzie helped me with that. That's why you see me shallow staging a lot now, because I try to drill the tree every time, and deep staging it'll go red almost every time.
Right. Yeah. No, that was like, what was that, like season 2, something like that? You,
Yeah.
I think you were pitching at Chuck saying, "We ain't track racers. What are we doing?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Come to find out, they set these trees up on a delay. I'm not sure what it is. 3/10 maybe. I'm not sure, but Reaper and Scott Taylor had been helping them set the tree up week to week, because Scott Taylor used to own a racetrack. He knew how a tree worked, all that. Reaper actually had set the tree up at that race, and he set it up at 5/10 delay. So it was an internal problem, but I just took the dick for it, and it sucked. But that's why I was so mad, because it wasn't shown on camera what happened,
Right.
And might say that was crime, but that should have been a rerun. I mean, the tree wasn't set up right, and when I done that, they realized they had to fix it, and I still had to bill for it, and I outran him that day. I was better than him that day as far as whose car was faster.
Right. Yeah. No, and I don't even think you didn't come back that season, did you?
No, I actually quit.
Right. Yeah. I think your first 2 seasons you didn't really race too many times on No Prep Kings.
Yeah, I did. I just wasn't as good, especially I think season 2. I think that was my bad season, but that's when I was trying to get Lizzie in the No Prep Kings, and we didn't have a lot of money, and I was trying to fund 2 cars, and we wasn't making a lot of money, and we were doing what we had to do to show up with a car that run every week, and we couldn't run them to the limits. We couldn't afford the parts. That's when her daddy was threatening to kill me for getting her into No Prep racing. And, so he wouldn't help us. We actually had to buy a motor from him. He wouldn't let her use one of his motors. So we ended up doing what we had to do. We were there. We were racing. We weren't the most competitive, but that led till now. So it was worth it all. And it was a sacrifice we made. And, now we're good. So now Pat loves street racing and No Prep racing and everything. So.
Oh, yeah. Everybody does, man. Everybody.
Yeah. At the time, though, he was going to put me in the trunk of a Cadillac is what he told me.
That's good stuff. What did you get?
I don't know.
Don't open it in front of theirs. It's kind of like some,
Oh. Yeah, she said I can't open it in public.
Shit. Hey, Kye, if you're all right, we're going to take a couple of questions from people who are online right now.
All right.
So if you got any questions, post them. I will take a couple. While we're waiting on that, so you obviously started in the street. Has No Prep Kings been growing on you, or you still like street racing better?
I prefer the street racing better, but No Prep Kings is more of a challenge to me. Like, I feel like street racing is pretty easy. No Prep Kings, you got to keep getting better and better and better. And I've learned a lot along the way that I thought I knew everything about cars and everything about 4Link and all that, but I mean, I've progressed so much since No Prep Kings started. Because I mean, when you're running 440s, 430s, and then you try to start running in the 3s, like, it's a big difference, man. So I'll say that I like it. It's probably became my favorite now because I mean, where else do you get to go 200 miles an hour, as your job? So,
No kidding. Yeah. All right, we got a question here. From Sam Howard. He wants to know when your and Lizzie's wedding date is.
uh, so they ended up scheduling that mega cash days for over our wedding. So we had to cancel it, push it,
Look
and
at Sam.
that was influenced by the big falling out me and Pat had. So we ended up rescheduling it for April the 16th, but now we're just now getting back from Australia, April the 16th. So we have a credit at a wedding venue, and we have pushed it until further notice, until we can figure out a month to where we can get married and chill out. So, I mean, we already live together. We got everything but the paperwork. So, we're not gonna. And Lizzie's thoughts is maybe me and her dad start talking before then, so he will show up at our wedding.
That might not be the worst idea, Guy. It might just help everything. It might help everything in the long run.
It wasn't that one time though. It was just multiple
I
times.
hear you.
Had enough.
I don't know if you'll get a wedding day, because it doesn't sound like you guys are going to be stopped filming anytime soon. So
Yeah. Back in the day, we used to film 3 or 4 months out of the year, and then we was off forever. And
yep.
we starving to death because you pretty much can't work a real job to do it. Be a street outlaw because you're gone for a month at a time. So I enjoyed the back-to-back filming. Like, this is what I always wanted. This makes the people that really want to do it. It puts them to a test. And I mean, we're always swapping cars, we're swapping combinations, we're trying to get ready for this race, that race, and that's the kind of stuff I like to do. So I feel like that tests us. I feel like tests our limits, and plus we're working on time, so we can actually make money year round instead of starving to death half the year and having money the rest of the year. So I'm good with it. I hope he plans something every month of every year. I'll be there.
Hell yeah. Now that don't give you too much time to do anything else. But when you do have a little bit of time, what do you like to do?
I like to hunt. Now that I would like to have December, January off every year. That's the rut of deer season, and I really enjoy hunting. Normally we have off for turkey season. It's end of March, April. We'll have a couple weeks there that I can turkey hunt. So, but yeah, if I'm not messing with race cars or hanging out with my kids, hunting is what I like to do. I just went hog hunting this past weekend. We caught 2 big old hogs. So,
Did you do that down in Texas?
No, I actually got a little hunting camp that I joined. It's with David Gates and them in Arkansas.
Oh,
So it's like 3.5 hours from my house. So every time I get a couple of days, I got a little tiny house up there, one of them little 10 by 28 cabins or whatever, and I go live in it and deer hunt and act like the world's not here.
cool, man. Yeah, I saw you duck hunting with Tim Silva not that long ago too. Huh?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I grew up watching Tim Sylvia, and then he was sitting beside me duck hunting, and I was talking shit about him. So it's cool, man. All this was a dream at one time, and now it's all a reality. Whoever would have thought I'd have hung out with Tim Sylvia in a duck blind? So I definitely didn't. So,
Right.
but come to find out, he's a pretty cool dude, man. He's not as mean as he looks on TV. He's actually a big old teddy bear. So I feel like I can whoop him, but he says I can't.
Yeah, I think so. Lonnie Wheaton has a question. He wants to know what your favorite MPK track is to race at.
For some reason, and it goes against everything I believe in, Denver, man. I love the way that track's laid out. I think it's the coolest thing ever. But as far as the nitrous car, the altitude is the absolute worst track you could go to. But the Bandimere Speedway in Denver, that's hands down my favorite track.
Nice. I saw their.
That's Lizzie's ex-boyfriend too, so it's always awkward when we go there.
Who's Lizzie's ex-boyfriend?
She dated that Kale. He's one of the Traction twins. She dated him for several years before we got together.
Nice.
He's a good dude, though. I met him, get along great. It just kind of awkward,
Yeah, I bet a little bit. So Kyle, what did you have you been to drag racing your whole life, or did you play some sports in high school, anything like that?
I played baseball was my favorite. I was a hind catcher from T-ball all the way up to 12th grade. That's why my knees hurt every day now. But I played some football up to about 10th grade, and then I ended up getting a job because I wanted to race. So I didn't have time for football and baseball. So I just stuck with baseball and finished out my 12th grade year, and then that was it.
Nice. Were you any good at baseball? Did you get any
Yeah.
offers?
No, I didn't get no offers. I was actually really smart in school, though. I used to have a straight A. I used to have straight A's all the way up to my 12th grade year, and then I just didn't really care. I think I ended up graduating with a 3.83 average.
Nice. Oh yeah,
But,
man. That's good.
Yeah, stuff there. But I grew up with a whole oil field family, and I wanted to race cars. I wanted to have money, so I knew that if I got out of high school, I could go in the oil field and I could make this much money now instead of going to school for 10 years and then having it. So besides all the stuff that happened for college, I skipped college and went straight to the oil field. I worked on an oil rig for probably 2 years. In 2005, I had a wreck in my truck and broke my neck. And during that off time, I decided I was done with the oil rigs. And I ended up getting a job offer when I got better. I got a job offer in oil refineries. And I went and done that. And I absolutely loved that work. It was cool. I started off as a oil watch, just a fire watch. Somebody just sits there on a bucket and watches somebody weld. And when I finally quit to be a street outlaw, I was the youngest superintendent at Turner Industries. And I was a superintendent when I was 26 years old. So, like I said, if I'm going to do something, I want to be the best. So I put in the work and ladder. So
nice. We got one more question here from Russell Shetley. What's your biggest regret in racing? It's kind of a tough question.
I would have to say that I didn't. I had to say that I held on to the combination I had for so long. Really, I think I could have been better. I think side by side, if I had the same stuff Ron had, I think he would have had his hands full. But to be honest, I think he was playing with me every time we ran. Because no matter how fast I got, he beat me by the same thing.
Well, Kye, you're not the only one that he beats most of the time.
Yeah.
Everybody, Liz, I'm not gonna lie, Lizzie's got a pretty good record against him. I mean, it's not more than he beats her, but she's had his number, especially season 3. She really had his number for a little while there.
Yeah. And that goes back to a Pat deal again. I mean, you would see me leave Lizzie on the tree so bad and have a car in front of her. I'm not saying I beat her on the tree. I'm just saying I could out 60 footer, and I'd have a car on her and she'd drive by me at the finish line like I'd turn the car off. So, but Pat always said we had the same exact motor. So I just one of those that I just got to let go, So, but yeah, I feel like my biggest regret is holding on to that, thinking that I had the best stuff that he had to offer, to be honest. And maybe I did. Maybe he's a better tuner than us, but I just don't see that.
Yeah. Well, Kye, first off, thank you so much for coming on, man. I know you're so busy. It's hard to get a day down to do this. I appreciate it. I'm sorry for bugging you so much. I'm just with all the scheduling, all the other guys and everything. I was like, I got to get Kye on hopefully before he leaves for Australia. So thank you so much for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
Yep, I appreciate y'all inviting me on here, man. But I guess we're gonna go down under and try to keep Shocker in the winners bracket. I guess I don't know.
Hell yeah, man! Good luck. Enjoy the trip, and I'm excited to come see you in No Prep King season.
All right, and before I go, I want to say this: there is some big surprises coming from No Prep Kings. I told y'all half of it, but y'all hadn't seen the coolest part yet. So stay tuned. I'm gonna drop it on YouTube or maybe in Facebook. I'm not sure yet, but when it comes out, it's gonna be gangster. So y'all just get ready.
Hell yeah, man! All right, Kye. Thank you so much, man. Have a good night.
Later.